Fearsome punching WBA middleweight champion Gennady Golovkin has become somewhat of a cult hero in boxing, with people saying that he knocks out light heavyweights in sparring, he punches harder than heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko. But on November the 2nd, he takes on another well-known puncher in Curtis Showtime Stevens in an exciting middleweight showdown. Clive, can you talk a little bit about the hype surrounding Gennady Triple G Golovkin?
Well, history doesn't lie. He's had 24 KOs into 27 fights. That's 88% ratio of KOs. You know, that is absolutely fantastic. You know, he's an absolutely fantastic puncher. He always seems to be able to be in the right place at the right time. At any part of the ring, he's there. He plants his feet. He doesn't waste shots, and he throws his big punches, and they're all calculated punches.
He seems to define the term heavy-handed. Every shot he lands seems to thud. Against Ishida in his fight with him, he landed the jab and snapped the Japanese boxer's head back with every shot that he threw. It just seemed to be such a devastating punch for him. But Clive, when he spoke to Max Boxing's Radio Raheem, he talked about his power a little bit after that stoppage against Matthew Macklin, and it was interesting to hear his thoughts on that. But what a lot of people forget is he's actually a very good technical boxer as well.
That's right. Amateur career was absolutely fantastic. You're talking about a man that has had more than 345 amateur fights. He's never been stopped and never been knocked out. You know, and obviously he's a technical ability. He's obviously very, 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 very good. Otherwise, he would not be. He would never have had 345 wins.
He's trained by Abel Sanchez up in the Big Bear Mountains in California, a famous training camp that the likes of Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley have gone and trained up there before. Sanchez trained all in Norris, Carlos Baldomir to name a few, and he seems to have added a little bit of that Mexican style to Golovkin's already typical tough and structured Eastern Bloc amateur style.
Well, yeah, take that Mexican style there. You take the inner steel that he's had, and obviously his technical ability as well. You've got a very, very tough fighter on your hands there.
And what do we know about Stevens as a fighter?
He's a couple of inches smaller. He can be outboxed, which happened in, I think it was against Jesse Brinkley, which was a very big shock. He was expected to win, and I think he lost about 8 of the 12 rounds. So he can be outboxed. He's not as fast. He can obviously punch, as his punch stats tell you, but you know, he's going to really have to up his game if he wants to win this fight.
Stevens has also operated as high as 175 at light heavyweight, but he's boxed at super middleweight. Clive, when two big punches like this collide, it often creates fireworks. Do you think that'll be the case here?
Yes, I do think there'll be fireworks in this fight, because they can both punch, but I do believe Stevens will be the more cautious of the punchers, because he knows that Golovkin is a massive puncher, and that will always be in the back of his head. So I don't think the fireworks are going to start in the first 2 or 3 rounds. Maybe rounds about 4 or 5. Maybe they start a few big exchanges, and then we'll really see a fight.
And what are Golovkin's keys to victory, Clive?
Well, I think he needs to do exactly what he's been doing all the time. I mean, he will come out like I say. He stalks his man. He plants his feet. He doesn't waste any punches. What he does is he walks his man down, he waits to see for an opening, and then he just throws left and right hooks, and he can punch as hard with either hand. So even if someone like Stevens is going to move along to his right, he's going to get caught. If he moves along to his left, he's going to get caught. So whichever way he moves, he's going to get caught by some big shots sooner or later.
It doesn't look good for Stevens, Clive, but how can he win this fight?
But you know what? I can't see him. I just cannot see him winning this fight. No matter what way I look at it, I cannot see him. I cannot see him being able to take the big shots for long.
I take my hat off him for getting into the ring with someone as feared as Golovkin. But let's hear your prediction for the fight.
I think if Stevens is a bit cautious to start off with and stays away, tries to find his range, it might he might last 2 or 3 rounds. But if he starts to engage too quick and start throwing his big bombs, I can see this fight being over as soon as Golovkin lands a big right hand.
Middleweight is a stacked division both internationally and domestically here in the UK. We have IBF middleweight champion Darren Barker recently beat Daniel Gill, and he's going to be travelling out to Germany to face his mandatory contender for that title, Felix Sturm, over in Germany in December. But we've also got Martin Murray, a two-time world title challenger. He pushed Sergio Martinez right to the very brink in a fight many people thought he won, and Martinez rated as the number 160-pounder in the world. How do you see a fight with Murray versus Golovkin if Golovkin wins? Because Murray has to fight, or should I say the winner of Golovkin-Stevens has to fight Murray as their mandatory.
Well, I'd like to think about that one after this fight.
Well, it's sure to be exciting. Golovkin versus Stevens, November the 2nd from the theatre at Madison Square Garden in New York. You don't want to blink because you may miss that one. Two big punches going head to head. So that concludes our preview of that fight, but there'll be plenty more coming up when international superstar Manny the Pac-Man Pacquiao takes on Brandon Bam Bam Rios in a welterweight contest live from Macau in China. We'll be previewing that. We'll also be previewing Carl Froch versus George Groves, both on the same night, November 23rd. Be sure to check out those previews and remember to subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment on it, and we'll see you next time.